بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Today we're continuing with Kitab al-Riqaq, the book on heart softeners from Sahih Albukhari, and we are on the chapter باب قول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما أحب أن لي مثل أحد ذهبا. The chapter related to the statement of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, it would not please me to have gold equal to this mountain of Uhud. And here Imam Albukhari, rahimahullah, as is one of his habits in his Sahih, he's going to repeat the hadith of yesterday, the hadith of Abu Dhar. But he's going to mention a longer context than what was yesterday. Because Imam Albukhari, it is out of his genius that he brings in every chapter what relates to that chapter in the hadith. So he might mention it shortened here, and he might mention the entire thing in another place, and here he's going to give us a longer context, and we will read the longer context as well. قال أبو ذر كنت أمشي مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. And also one of the benefits of this is that one of the things perhaps one must get used to is that people, they're all about listening to something new, about this person, I already know what's in the khutbah. Right? And sometimes, and this is part of the materialism people have in them, that there wasn't enough action in the khutbah, or he took a few minutes more. I understand you might have an obligation specific days and stuff, but these technical things mustn't be focused on more than when someone says a mistake in aqidah in the khutbah, or a mistake that tends to move towards secularism, push people towards liberalism. That should be focused on more. That is more important for us to save ourselves from. So again, the technicalities, these things can be overlooked, and I'm not only about, so the point inshallah is clear. قال أبو ذر كنت أمشي مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في حرة المدينة فاستقبلنا أحد فقال يا أبا ذر قلت لبيك يا رسول الله قال ما يسرني أن عندي مثل أحد هذا ذهبا تمضي علي 3 وعندي منه دينار إلا شيئا أرصده لدين إلا أن أقول به في عباد الله هكذا وهكذا وهكذا عن يمينه وعن شماله ومن خلفه ثم مشى فقال إن الأكثرين هم الأقلون يوم القيامة إلا من قال هكذا وهكذا وهكذا عن يمينه وعن شماله ومن خلفه وقليل ما هم ثم قال لي مكانك لا تبرح حتى آتيك ثم انطلق في سواد الليل حتى توارى فسمعت صوتا قد ارتفع فتخوفت أن يكون قد عرض للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فأردت أن آتيه فذكرت قوله لي لا تبرح حتى آتيك فلم أبرح حتى أتاني قلت يا رسول الله لقد سمعت صوتا تخوفت فذكرت له فقال وهل سمعته؟ قلت نعم قال ذلك جبريل أتاني فقال من مات من أمتك لا يشرك بالله شيئا دخل الجنة قلت وإن زنى وإن سرق قال وإن زنى وإن سرق. Again, the hadith of Abu Dhar radiallahu anhu. While I was walking with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Harra of Medina, Uhud came in sight, the mountain Uhud. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, O Abu Dhar, I said, Labbaika, O Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, I would not like to have gold equal to this mountain of Uhud, unless nothing of it, not even a single dinar of it, remains with me for more than 3 days, except something which I will keep for repaying debts. I will have spent all of it, distributed it amongst Allah's slaves like this, and like this, and like this. The Prophet ﷺ pointed out with his hands towards his right, his left, and his back while illustrating it. And a couple of points on this addition, of course this is the addition to the hadith. Here it shows how the Prophet, when the mountain came, he took it as an opportunity to give him a lesson. How memorable would it be if a person, when he sees something, that's why one of people, when they talk about raising children and stuff, he says, if you live in the West, it's good if you see something like, for example, my younger brother, he always notices the filthy signs they put. It's okay to say gay. this filthy stuff that they're trying to push onto society. And so he always points to me, he's like, look, this, and he's like, so why? Because at a young age, you take the opportunity to point out that, okay, he saw the bad thing, he already saw it, and there's no way of stopping it. So you point out, you take the opportunity that, see, this is something bad. And you'll see that they'll take on the cause of maintaining Allah's religion sometimes more than you, more brave than you did. So this is one point, that taking the opportunity that when you see something to make note of it. And also, the Prophet ﷺ points to something we didn't mention yesterday. Yes, there's a great encouragement here to spend for the sake of Allah, but he pointed something, except something I would keep for my debt. Yani you don't leave that your family loses all money and so forth. He pointed that. And of course, it depends also on the crowd and so forth. That a person, yani what you guys understand, inshallah. The Prophet ﷺ pointed out with his hands, and then this is what he proceeded with his walk and said, the rich are in fact the poor, the little rewarded on the day of resurrection, except those who spend their wealth like this and like this and like this to their right, left, and back. But such people are few in number. Such people are few in number. Then he said to me, stay at your place and do not leave it until I come back. Then he proceeded in the darkness of the night till he went out of sight. And then I heard a loud voice and was afraid that something might have happened to the Prophet ﷺ. I intended to go to him, but I remembered what he said to me. That is, don't leave your place till I come back to you. So I remained at my place till he came back. And this reminds me of two incidents other than that. One time, Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman, the Prophet ﷺ in Ghazwat al-Ahzab, he told him, go check on them. But he told him, لا تؤلبهم علينا. Don't make them get angry and then come towards us. And this is one of the wisdoms. Like, don't let the enemy, okay, they're the enemy, but don't let them, when we're in a state of weakness or so forth, get angry and then attack us and so forth. And that shows you the mistake of some groups and so forth that cause the ummah to get into situations that they can't bear. Why would you do such a thing? You have to understand the ramifications of what you're doing. But look, Hudayfa, he saw Abu Sufyan, at the time kafir, and he wanted to hit him with an arrow, but he remembered the statement of the Prophet, لا تؤلبهم عليه. Don't let them get aggressive towards us angry. So he maintained that obedience of the statement of the Prophet, even if I think there's something good in one. And it also reminds me of the hadith of Jabir, when the Prophet told him that cut the loan in half when they were differing. We mentioned that during Ramadan as well. We'll continue. Yes. So I remained at my place till he came back to me. I said, O Allah's Messenger ﷺ, I heard a voice and I was afraid. And of course, the main point there is submission to the Prophet ﷺ and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, so I mentioned the whole story to him and that I heard a voice and I was afraid. He said, did you hear it? I replied, yes. He said, it was Jibreel who came to me and said, whoever died without joining others in worship with Allah will enter paradise. I asked Jibreel, even if he had committed theft or committed illegal sexual intercourse? Jibreel said, yes, even if he had committed theft or committed illegal sexual intercourse. And the last thing, this is just another narration of the hadith. It's Abu Hurairah قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لو كان لي مثل أحد ذهبا لسرني ألا تمر 3 ليال وعندي منه شيء إلا شيئا أرصده لدين. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Apostle said, if I had gold equal to the mountain of Uhud, it would not please me that anything of it should remain with me after 3 nights. That is, I would spend all of it in Allah's cause, except what I would keep for repaying debts. And this is the point behind the chapter, so we mustn't go aside from it. My apologies, I took a little longer today. Inshallah, we'll keep it to 5 minutes after that.